Hey love bugs, welcome back to another Tarot Lover Reviews. Today we are taking a look at the Egyptian Art Nouveau Tarot. So if you've heard of this tarot deck or you did not know this tarot deck even existed, hopefully this review and the flip through that comes afterwards helps you to decide on whether or not this tarot deck is right for you. Now if you want to go ahead and go straight to the flip through, take a look at my description. I break down all of the suits into chapters to make it easier for you to locate where you would like to start within that flip through. But right now we are going to talk about the packaging. We're going to talk about the guidebook. We're going to talk about the cards, card stock, card size, card texture, naming convention, imagery, all that good stuff. So if you are interested in the details, stick around. If not, head on over to the flip through. But right now we are going to take a look at the packaging. So this is what the box looks like. And I believe it's this way. Yeah. So the publisher of this tarot deck is Los Scarabeo. And yeah, they have done quite a lot of different tarot decks out there. But yeah, so this is what the backs look like. The deck is created by, I believe this is Gilia Galia. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, but I will give you a view of the person's name down there. But I saw this on Amazon and I had just been paying attention and keeping an eye on it so that I can order it when I had the money. And of course, when I was ready to order it, it was all sold out. I had to go somewhere else for it. And it took a month for me to get this tarot deck. So this tarot deck is very popular right now. But yeah, so this is how the box opens. I have not seen this tarot deck in a different box other than the typical tuck or slip box. I don't know exactly the term most people use for boxes like this, but yeah, it is your average typical tarot box. Los Scarabeo tends to do a lot of their tarot decks in these types of boxes, but they also have put out other tarot boxes that open like this or open from the bottom. So they are not just limited to, you know, the tuck boxes, right? Okay, so that is the packaging. And again, you can definitely purchase, I believe you can purchase this tarot deck off of their website. I think I've tried to do it and I was unsuccessful, which is why I went other avenues to get to this tarot deck. But you can definitely check out their website to see if you can purchase this deck through them. Let's talk about the guidebook. So guidebook is your typical white book, little white book, okay? It is a little bit on the thick side, but that's only because it is in other languages. So that's what I like about Los Scarabeo. They cover their tarot decks in multiple languages to make it easier for you or anyone to read their tarot cards. Going from the English part, which is in the beginning of the tarot book, the guidebook, as you can see, there are no pictures. It's literally just the name of the card and then the upright and reversal meanings in one paragraph. So it's the way that it's worded. So, oh no, I take this back. So you get like 2 sentences of a description for the card, followed by keywords for upright and reversal. So you're getting a little bit more within the guidebook, because typically the guidebooks just have keywords or key phrases, and that's it for upright and reversal. You get a little bit more with this particular guidebook, which I do like. So you do get like a couple of paragraphs or a couple of sentences to kind of describe and explain the card, and then you get the keywords towards the end of the paragraph. So that is the book. And I don't believe, I don't believe this does come with a, what do you call it? Tarot spreads. There we go. It does not come with tarot spreads or a tarot spread within the guidebook, which is totally fine. It's not technically needed, but it's always a great addition to have to a guidebook. But Unfortunately, with their guidebooks, they do not have that. And I think that's mainly because they have multiple languages in one guidebook. It would just make the guidebook a little bit larger, which would call for a larger box to contain this particular tarot deck. And that might have not been something that they wanted to do. So that's the guidebook. Let's talk about the cards. So this is the gorgeous back to these cards. Okay. Standard tarot size. I have your Rider-Waite-Smith tarot card, and oh, it looks like it might be a little bit thinner than your yeah. So there, it's a little bit thinner. I mean, as far as width goes, it's a little bit shorter on width than your typical tarot card, which is totally fine. I feel like Los Scarabäus tarot cards, they are very easy to handle. And I think it's because of the size of the cards that they choose to produce, right? So yeah, that is the backs of the cards. That's the size of the cards. Let's talk about the texture. So it is just a matte texture. It is not glossy, which I absolutely love. That Los Scarabäus does this to their tarot cards. It's a matte finish. It's perfect. And what's even more perfect is the cardstock. This is definitely a Goldilocks zone cardstock. And what I mean by that is it makes for a perfect shuffle when it comes to your poker style shuffling. Okay. So if you don't know what I mean, it's literally, you know, splitting the deck in half, right? And then doing, you know, this. That it's a perfect shuffle. There's control because of the texture. It's not glossy. It's not super matte to where the cards stick together. You get a beautiful shuffle with this tarot deck, and the cardstock is perfect. It is not too thick and it's not too thin. It's very flexible to work with. So yeah, definitely in the Goldilocks zone of cardstock. It is a perfect cardstock to have in your hands. Really, it makes for a great shuffle again. So that is the cardstock. So cardstock, texture, card size, we've gone through that. Okay, so let's talk about the naming convention and the imagery, right? Just so everyone knows, I compare the comparison that I'm doing is with the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery and naming convention, mainly because that is largely what all the guidebooks out there and other tarot decks out there base their imagery off of, is the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. Not all of the tarot decks out there base it off of that, but a large majority will utilize the symbolism in that tarot deck to create their own tarot. So it's always good to be able to compare to that, because that's a staple within the tarot community, right? So in regards to the naming convention, we'll start with that first. Naming convention is, well, there's really no naming convention, really. There are no words on this tarot deck. None of the major Arcana cards have the names. Normally it'll have the name of the card down at the bottom here, followed by the Roman numeral for that major Arcana. That is not the case within this tarot deck. So it would be wise to have a general idea, an understanding of the naming convention for all of the tarot cards to be able to read these cards if you're not already familiar with the imagery. So that's one thing. And it is the same thing with the minor Arcana. There are no words on these cards to explain or tell you what that card is. You simply get the imagery of what that suit is. So in this case, this is the staffs or the wands. If it's cups, you would see a chalice down at the bottom. If it's pentacles, you would see a coin, and so on. So there are no words. It's all imagery. It's all images. It's all Roman numerals when it comes to the majors. The minors, you do still get, you know, an actual number up at the top there. Okay. But yeah, throughout the whole tarot deck, there are no words to it. So it would be wise to have an understanding of the cards, the naming conventions ahead of time before getting into this deck, because it'll definitely help you in the long run. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get this tarot deck because it doesn't have all the things. If you feel a connection to this tarot deck, if you resonate with this tarot deck and you want this tarot deck, get the tarot deck, okay? Do not let me stop you from getting a tarot deck that you absolutely love just because it does not have what, you know, everybody expects to see on a tarot deck. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind, okay? The imagery on the cards is beautiful. I mean, it's no surprise. It is definitely Egyptian themed. It's a beautiful tarot deck. The major arcana, the court cards are just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Major arcana really pulled from the Egyptian mythology and the gods and deities within the Egyptian pantheon. So that is fantastic. I will say within the court cards of the minor arcana, of course, again, they don't have names or tell you that it's a knight or a queen or a king or a page or things like that. Instead, they will have the crown of that particular suit. So this one right here is for queens. And then this one stands for knights. So you have the horse. And this one is for the kings. And then I believe this is pages. I believe that is for pages there. So yeah, again, no naming conventions whatsoever. It's all numbers, Roman numerals, and headdresses and the suits as far as what the suit stands for. But yeah, the imagery is beautiful. Definitely pulls from Egyptian mythology, Egyptian ways of life. I'm all for it. I absolutely love this tarot deck. I just received it this week, so I have not had enough time to really utilize it as much as I really wanted to utilize it, but the imagery alone is just worth it. It's beautiful. I love to, you know, add Egyptian style tarot decks to my collection because, you know, I just love Egyptian mythology, you know, a little bit about myself. But yeah, I hope this video has helped you in some way. If it has, leave a like. Check out my channel and see if there are any other tarot decks that you might be interested in that I have reviewed on, and take a look at them. If not, if I have not done a tarot deck review on a deck that you're interested in, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're interested in. Chances are I might just have that tarot deck already and I just haven't done a review on it yet because I have a lot to go through. But if I don't have it, I will check it out and hopefully do a review on that as soon as possible. But yeah, without further ado, here is the flip through and enjoy. Bye guys.